in the first part of this module. And I hope you must have created your required roles as per your data set, whatever you are using in your Power BI desktop. You must have created the roles. And now let's see how to assign those roles to particular employees in your company and to particular email IDs of your team. So for that, what as I was telling you last time, you need to click on this three dot 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 to go to your Power BI services, My Workspace, and then go to your data sets. And inside that, go to the particular data set where you want to apply this security. We are moving forward for sales analysis database. Click on the three dot 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 ellipsis button. Go to security. You will find the roles which have been created by you for this data set inside the Power BI desktop. Great. We created these four roles, if you remember: mix, others, rural, and urban. Why it is showing 0, 0, 0, 0? Because we haven't assigned these roles now to until now to anyone. Once we'll assign these roles to the people, then the number will increase here, okay, one by one. For example, I want to assign this mix role to someone like ABCD at the rate of my company name. It's a datatrain.com. Okay, so it will be done. Once it has to find the email ID over there. Okay, so it will be done, add, and then you want to assign it to maybe one more people, the data train. Sorry, BI at the rate data train. Okay, so this one done, add. Similarly, now this way you can assign this data set to n number of people. Okay, to whom you want to share the report for the mixed category. Done. If you're done with this, click on save. Done. It is asking that one or more email address does not exist. Yes, because it's a dummy address I am attaching. I hope you can understand it because it's just for a demo purpose. You can go ahead and use your correct email IDs of your team and assign the particular role to correct people. So this is done. Similarly, I am going to rural, and yes, I want to save it. I want to go for rural, and because I have a single ID here, so I'll assign all the roles to the same ID. BI at the rate datatrain.com. Done. If you want to add more, add it. Done. Click on save. Done. Same way you can assign to the other people as well, urban and others get others role as well to the other people. Once it will be done, you will start finding the numbers here because we have assigned these two roles to one people. So now we are getting one IDs. So we are getting one numbers over here. Great. So we can go ahead and test as a role. So if we see as a role, if we see the test as a role, so sales analysis by revenue by category, and on here we are getting only data for we are setting for rural category. So we are getting only for rural category. We are not finding for any other category. We are finding data for only and only rural category. Okay. So inside this, if I go here, I'll find data only and only for rural category. If you can go ahead and check for the category, it's already applied only for rural. We don't have any other category. Great. This way you can go ahead and test and for your row level security, how it is implemented properly or not. Okay. So we can see here in the rural category, we are getting the exact correct data only for rural category. On every page, this filter is applied. We are getting data only for rural category. That's for confirm. You can go ahead and see everywhere on each and every page. Okay. So if you go here as well, it's only for rural. Let's go ahead for any other one as well. It's only for rural. So make sure that this is how you create the roles and assign them to your correct email IDs in your team. That's a very beautiful and one useful feature because it is 100% required to implement this row level security so that we are assigning we are giving the correct reports to the correct users, the correct stakeholders. Great. So let's come back to row level security. We have done the testing. Similarly, we can go ahead and test for mix as well. So one more testing I want to do. So if I go to the mix as well, if I go onto any of the page to test out on, first of all, on this page only, let's see. So in the filters pane, if I go and I see the filter for my category, this time I'll find only value for mix. Great. So we are only able to see data for mix category. Sorry. Similarly, if I go to page 1, I am only finding data for mixed category. Similarly, for page 4, mixed category. Great. So let's come back here. So it's done. Now you in future, if you want to add any other people to them, just go to come back to your role once again, enter the email ID and add the address. Done. And start sharing the report. So now if you go to the My Workspaces and you go to your content and you share your report or dashboards to your particular people. So if you go to this report and if you start sharing this report to the concerned employee IDs to the role you have assigned, they will just find the email ID, they'll just find the data which you have given them as per their role. Okay, isn't it great and wonderful feature? This is called row level security in Power BI. This is static method. This is static method, and this is applicable for both Power BI Pro, Premium, and even free accounts in your trial period as well. The second one is the dynamic method, the row level security dynamic method. That is little bit kind of a method when it comes to the administrator part. When the administrator is taking care for the security, and it will be applicable only in the premium feature. So I'll not be able to demonstrate that for you here because I don't have a premium license. But I'll show you, I'll show you how to do that in the presentation. Let's go there and understand what exactly is this row level security with dynamic method. Okay, so if we don't want to manage this dynamically, like we don't want to assign different roles again, create different roles again and again, and then go ahead and assign them to different people and on the particular email IDs and then sharing. If you have a premium license, the administrator can take ahead of this task very simply. Okay, so we will use a text function for that purpose. Let's see this picture. This picture will help you make it very clear. So we'll just create a single role employee email address. We'll just create a single role into our table, into our Power BI desktop with the name of employee email address. You can use any other name here as well, no problem. And inside the tables, you will definitely have an employee table where you have an employee table or any other table where you want to put this expression. So go ahead and use this function, use principal name. Email address is equal to use principal name. Okay. So when it will be assigned for from the administrator, use principal name. So when you are sharing the report, I'm telling a very simple and a straightforward point here. When you are sharing the report to any of the stakeholders, in which department they belong. Okay, so they will log in Power BI with their email ID. So in whichever department they belong, they will get data only for that particular department only. Okay, based on their employee information, it will automatically filter out the data for them, which department they belong. It will the Power BI DEX expression will help it so smartly that they will get the data only for their particular department only. Okay, so you can see here. Let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. So, for example, we have used here the use principal name. Okay, so user principal name. Sorry, not use principal name. It's user principal name. Okay, and then we'll assign them to, for example, if this Russell King uses the email address something like russell@taliwantraders.com to sign in into Power BI services, the system will compare that value to the email address in the employee table. It will go ahead in the employee table and will compare this email address value to this employee table. Where is this employee address? Russell@taliwantraders is there into your data set. Okay, assuming that a relationship has been created between the employee and the sales table, Russell will only see his 4 sales. Russell will be able to see data only for his particular sales. We have 3 tables here, employee, products, and sales. So we are assuming that there is a relationship between the employee table and the sales table with the name of employee email ID column. Okay, or maybe employee ID column. So based on this email ID column value from which he is logging in, russell@taliwantraders.com, it will go inside the employee table and it will fetch out the employee ID from there to whom this email ID belongs, and then it will connect to the sales table and see what sales has been done from this particular email ID, this particular employee ID, and that particular employee will be able to see only those sales. A very dynamic kind of feature given by Power BI. It's a little bit administrator kind of an activity, and it will only be allowed for Power BI premium licenses. So when you will go for industry project, definitely you can use this feature. Okay, so great. That's it. So we have seen both now, the static row level security and the dynamic row level security, how we implement them in Power BI and why it is so powerful, why it is so helpful as well. Let's have a test, a small question set to discuss on this point. First question: which function will you use the username of the person who is signed into Power BI services? Simple question: which function will tell you the username who is signed into Power BI services? We have just talked about this, so I hope you will be definitely able to answer it in a very fast way. That's user principal name. Absolutely correct. Option number A, user principal name. Okay, to find out the username of the person who is signing in into Power BI services from a particular email ID. Okay, so use this function name, user principal name. Second question: where can you test RLS by using different security roles? Where can we test it? In Power BI desktop only, or in Power BI services only, or both Power BI desktop and Power BI services? Yes, we can test both of in both. Definitely we can test in Power BI services. I have already shown you how to do that, and even we can do the testing in Power BI desktop only as well. In Power BI desktop as well. Sorry. So that means it will be both Power BI desktop and Power BI services. The question which will come in your mind: how will you test it into Power BI desktop? It's very simple. You create the roles over here, and then you can go ahead and for testing purpose you can go onto the modeling. And once you have created the role, you can see the view as, and now you can use the I want to see the role view data for the mixed category only. So it will start showing me the data only for the mixed category. Similarly, if I want to say no, I don't want to see view as mix, I want to see view as rural. So I'll go ahead and it will start showing me the data as per the rural category. For testing purpose, we can check it out here as well, that the roles which we are creating, they are working perfectly or not. Okay, so in both the ways we can go ahead and do the testing. Great. So the answer for this question is option number C, both Power BI desktop and Power BI services. Okay. So great. I hope you are able to understand each and everything on this RLS topic. In short form, we call them as RLS. The full topic name is row level security. Okay. So if I summarize the topic, we have discussed a lot of depth about this. That first of all, why it is required, so that we can share the correct data set, the correct part of the report to the correct users, what they are intended in. And plus, we have seen both the methods, like how to implement static row level security and dynamic row level security. We have seen the practical demonstration of a static row level security, how to create the roles, how to manage the roles, and assign them to assign the roles a particular text expression, and finally saving and publishing the report. And after that, how we have seen how to assign those roles to particular employee email IDs in your company. And we have tested the roles in both the places, in services plus the desktop as well. And finally, we have seen the user principal name function to implement dynamic row level security. But that practical demonstration, it requires the premium license. So you can go ahead, if you have the premium license in your company account, go ahead and use it. Thank you so much. That's the end of module 10. Go ahead and practice it.